All right, what's going on, you guys? Nick here with Nick on the Power. So I wanted to talk about the Arnold Classic 2019 today. So today they released the official list of invited competitors to compete in men's open bodybuilding at the 2019 Arnold Classic. So for those of you that don't know, unlike the Olympia, the Arnold Classic isn't a show that you qualify for necessarily. It's an invitation-only bodybuilding competition. And that's why it's the second biggest bodybuilding show in the world, because they typically only invite the best of the best to come compete at the Arnold. So I want to go through this list that got posted today, talk about some of the people that are competing, some of the more interesting names that really stand out here, do some early predictions, and then talk about some of the names that are not on this list. All right, so that being said, let's go ahead and dive into this list. So surprisingly, there's only 12 competitors listed here. So starting with William Bonac, who obviously won last year's Arnold Classic, or still this year's, the 2018 Arnold Classic. But the interesting name here, Victor Martinez. We haven't seen Victor in a couple of years now. It's been a while since we've seen him on a competitive bodybuilding stage. And I think this 2019 Arnold Classic is going to be a very definitive show for Victor Martinez as to where the rest of his career is going to go. For a while, people have been speculating that he's going to retire or that he's already done with bodybuilding, just because his placings were starting to slip. And we weren't really seeing him compete as frequently. Then he hadn't competed in a while. So it's pretty interesting to me to see Victor Martinez's name on the 2019 Arnold Classic roster. And then, of course, you have Rafael Brandao. He's had a tremendous competitive season in 2018. He did a bunch of shows. He really got his name out there. And he looked pretty good at all the shows that he did. So I could see this guy doing relatively well in this lineup at the 2019 Arnold Classic, but not really one of the bigger names in this lineup. So we got Cedric McMillan, who is a former winner of the Arnold Classic, but unfortunately he took third at this year's Arnold Classic. So he will be coming back. Brandon Curry, arguably one of the most improved bodybuilders of the year, taking fifth earlier this year at the Mr. Olympia competition. Brandon Curry could be a serious threat in this lineup for the 2019 Arnold Classic. The only other top six guys from the Olympia that are in this lineup are Rolly Winkler, William Bonac, and Brandon Curry. Rolly Winkler taking third at the Olympia, William Bonac taking fourth at the Olympia, and Brandon Curry taking fifth, as I just mentioned. So that could be your 1, 2, and 3 at the Arnold Classic in 2019, in no particular order. Then, of course, you have Luke Sando, who we haven't seen in a while as well. Luke Sando is a fellow Redcon 1 sponsored athlete, so I hope he does well. And I look forward to seeing what he's going to be able to bring to the Arnold Classic stage. Hopefully he can crack the top 6 there. Now, another interesting name that stands out to me on this list is Charles Dixon. Charles Dixon is a 212 bodybuilder. This could be a typo, or Charles Dixon is really moving up to men's open because this is the men's open bodybuilding list. But Charles Dixon is listed on the men's open list, so maybe Charles Dixon is crossing over to men's open for next year's Arnold Classic. I guess only time will tell, but he is on this list for whatever reason. Then you've got Mikhail Volinkin. Then you've also got my boy Steve Kuklo. So Steve Kuklo won the 2018 Indy Pro. He also took 10th at the Olympia. So Steve Kuklo is another guy that could be a serious threat somewhere within this top 6 at the 2019 Arnold Classic. So I hope to see him do well. You've got Akeem Williams, who also had a great 2018 season. Josh Lenardowitz, who we haven't seen in a while, so it'll be exciting to see him come back. It's been maybe over a year since we've seen him compete, so it'll be exciting to see him on the Arnold Classic stage yet again. Then, of course, you have Rolly Winkler, who you could make an argument that Rolly is the biggest threat in this lineup because Rolly took third at the 2018 Mr. Olympia, and, of course, Phil Heath took second, Sean Roden won, and neither Phil Heath nor Sean Roden are listed on this list. So Rolly Winkler is the highest Olympia placer recently that's competing in the Arnold Classic, although he didn't win the Arnold Classic last year, and William Bonac did. I think Rolly Winkler is going to be a serious threat in this lineup, and this is a guy that you could be looking at for, maybe winning his first ever Arnold Classic Columbus, Ohio title in 2019. And that would really be my early prediction for the 2019 Arnold Classic is William Bonac, Rolly Winkler, and Brandon Curry battling it out in the top 3. I would really like to see Rolly Winkler come away with the win there. So in addition to posting the men's open bodybuilding invites, they also posted the invites for every other category. So I'm briefly going to mention some of the other categories here, starting with Classic Physique. And the Classic Physique invitation list is kind of interesting here because there's some big names that are omitted from this list that I think is really going to make the 2019 Arnold Classic Classic Physique division up for grabs for somebody new to win it. Now, last year was the first ever Arnold Classic physique. It was the first year they had that division at the Arnold. And of course, you had Breon Ainsley, the reigning, defending Olympia champion in Classic Physique, come in and win that Arnold Classic in a way that I think he won relatively easily. Now, the interesting thing here is Breon is not on this list. And not only is Breon not on this list, but Chris Bumstead is not on this list. In addition to that, Arash Rabar not on this list. So some very big names that would likely be the top picks to win the Arnold Classic if they competed are not here, which I think is very, very good for some of these new guys, like Wesley Vissers. Wesley Vissers is invited to compete here. I think this is a very good opportunity for him to place well. He does have an opportunity to maybe even win in this lineup, but I think mostly it's going to be an opportunity to redeem himself from the Olympia and possibly get that top six, somewhere in the top six at the 2019 Arnold Classic and Classic Physique, which I think will be great for him. You've got Keon Pearson, who I think has a fantastic Classic Physique. He's got great lines, great structure, great vacuum pose, tremendous upper body, tremendous arms. I think this is a guy that, this is an opportunity for him to really shine as well. And probably the biggest threat that I see in this invitation list is George Peterson, who was a top 3 guy at the Olympia. So George Peterson is probably the favorite to win, I would say. Out of all these names, a lot of these names I haven't even heard of, to be honest with you guys. But I would say George is probably the biggest name in this list, probably followed by Danny Hester, who won the first ever Mr. Olympia at Classic Physique. So I'll just go through the names for you guys real quick for those of you guys that are just listening to the audio. Khalid Chikawi, Jason Lowe, Garrett Colo, Ravante Moody, Charles Curtis, Courage Opara, who I think placed pretty well at last year's Arnold Classic Physique. I think he was top 3. Ali Amir, Keon Pearson, Dion Harris, George Peterson, Danny Hester, Penex Pierre, Wesley Vissers, Leon Jones, and David Martinez Campos. So again, not the deepest lineup, but probably some pretty good opportunities for some of these new guys to really make a statement. And then I also wanted to include men's physique in this video because I thought it was actually almost funny comparing the men's physique list to the 12 men's open bodybuilders that were invited to compete. There are going to be over 30 men's physique competitors at this show, including guys like Logan Franklin, Andre Ferguson, and George Brown. And I'm going to be honest with you guys, those are about the only 3 guys on this list that I'm really even familiar with in men's physique. And interestingly enough, men's physique is the biggest category by far at this 2019 Arnold Classic. I thought for sure it would be bikini because there's typically a ton of bikini girls that show up for these competitions. But men's physique had way more invited competitors than bikini, which I thought was actually kind of fascinating how many guys they actually had in that division. And I kind of wonder what the reason for that is. Again, when you consider the fact that this is an invite-only competition, it's kind of fascinating they would have that many men's physique guys. Then the final men's division, of course, is the Arnold Pro Bodybuilding Wheelchair Division. So in this division, you've got Anand Arnold, Daniel Minster, Harold Kelly, who is probably going to win again, Joshua Foster, Joshua Rucker. Interestingly enough, Chris Dim, who I'm going to be very interested to see. This is kind of his comeback competition. It's going to be really cool to see Chris Dim compete at this show. And then you've got Steve Lister. So I actually really enjoy the Arnold Pro Wheelchair Division. I think it's a great opportunity for these guys that have been injured or maybe wouldn't have the opportunity to compete in bodybuilding otherwise, to really have an outlet for them to show off their physique. So I really do enjoy watching the Pro Wheelchair Division. And then, of course, for those of you that don't know when the Arnold Classic in Columbus, Ohio is, from the official press release, we have the dates, which is going to be February 28th through March 3rd. It's usually always the first weekend in March, but it falls a little bit early this year towards the very end of February. Actually, I believe that's the last day of February through March 3rd. So I'm really looking forward to this. I've been going to the Arnold Classic every year for maybe 10 years now. It's very enjoyable for me to go to the expo, meet some fans, but more importantly, go to the show and actually get my own photos and videos to put on the channel and really get good coverage for you guys from the Arnold Classic. So one of the most enjoyable events of the year. I always tell people, if you've never been, it's something that you really need to go to and really experience. It's not just bodybuilding. It's powerlifting, it's Olympic weightlifting, it's archery, it's gymnastics. They got pretty much every sport under the sun. You've got pro strongman, you've got Fitness International. You've got all kinds of events at the Arnold Classic that are just super enjoyable to watch. Even if you're not into bodybuilding, there really is something there for everybody to enjoy. And that's why it's just such a cool event, because so many people show up from all walks of life that aren't even interested in bodybuilding, but might be interested in general fitness or some of the other events going on. So I highly, highly recommend, if you've never been to the Arnold Classic, to make it a point to try to go this year. Thank you guys for watching the video. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below, and please give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Nick Strength and Power signing out.